pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I'm Pete.
And I'm GIF.
Yeah, we had a little snafu there. We haven't done an episode in a few weeks, so I hit the mute button instead of the record button.
Yeah, it's a much better show.
I would think a lot of our listeners would prefer that.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, good one.
Ayo.
Well, we're back anyway.
Tonight.
So it is a new year, but it is not a new season at Pop Culture Yearbook yet. We'll be starting a new season in February.
It's like our new fiscal year. That's what like these big corporations, they don't
kind of like
align.
school.
Yeah, there you
start
go.
one year and finish in another and everything.
Yeah.
But we'll be putting out 2 episodes this month. If any of you listened, we did the same thing last year in January. Take a little sabbatical here and there. And then February, we'll be back in full force in February.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good holiday?
We did.
Fantastic.
Might talk about it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. All right. I'll let the suspense.
So speaking of that, tonight's episode is going to be, so both these episodes are going to be wrapping up the year of 2022. And tonight we are going to share our personal top 5s. And what we decided is these could be top 5 anything. So these aren't going to be like our music movie lists like we do a lot. This is just whatever was memorable and great from the year. And it could be a movie. If you liked a movie that much, it could be that.
Sure thing.
I guess we'll find out.
5 fingers ranked.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say, Pete?
I said it could be your top 5 fingers ranked if you want it to be.
Right.
Well, that would be weird. Not a finger.
Not a finger.
All
this
right,
is going to be a good one. I got a feeling.
We've each picked 5 things. We'll just go one at a time and go around and share one at a time and say why what was memorable.
Sounds good.
How about you go first, Pete?
Hold on. Are we starting from the bottom up or the top down?
However you want to do
mine
it.
aren't really any. I mean, I haven't. It doesn't matter.
I have mine in chronological order is how they happen.
Yeah,
during the year.
I rank mine bottom up.
Okay.
So do whatever the hell you want to do.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'll start then with my number 5. I had that it has been. I mean, I know it's been a little rocky lately, and we don't know what's coming, but this has been a very fun Viking season to watch so far. I mean, you can't argue with the record. Yes, you can't argue with the record, and it's been a lot of fun. And who knows? You know, everything changes in the playoffs. Maybe they play better. You never know what's going to happen.
Yes,
Chip in a chair.
I got an idea.
So
I saw that game against Green Bay the other day. That wasn't fun.
Well, I mean, don't bring it down. Overall, you got to look at the big picture of the season.
Fun.
It's been one of the most fun seasons of our lives. That's for
Very
sure.
memorable.
So,
and technically, the game that you're referring to happened in 23.
That's true. So there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, the Dallas game happened in 2022.
Yes, it sure did. It sure did.
But they're 12-4 right now, and could be 13-4 very easily.
So in our lifetime,
do not complain about a 13-4 season.
In our lifetime, we've won 12 games in a season. I think this is only the 3rd time. No, 4th.
Exactly.
So it is a big deal. Yeah. 15-1 in 98.
Yep.
12-4 with Favre. And then Keenum, we were 13-3.
Oh yeah, we were 13.
Yeah. So it could be
they've won 11 games a lot, but never 12 is a benchmark.
Sure. The 3rd time, it very well could be the 3rd time then that they'll win 13 games. But the little asterisk is that it's 17. It's 17 games now the season, but still, you can't complain about it.
For sure. I like that. It's a good way to kick it off.
What? We don't have a lot of good things to say about sports teams in this town. So you got to enjoy it when it's happening, even if you know it's going to end poorly. I'm still enjoying it.
Right.
Well, and of course, the way that the games have finished, like the Buffalo game, just a ridiculously fun finish. Other than the Minneapolis Miracle, probably the most exciting finish of our lives, as far as an individual game goes. And so it's like just been a ridiculously amazingly
and
fun
if
season.
you're going to talk
watch.
about specific games, you got to mention the greatest comeback in NFL history.
Yep.
Well, there's that too. Yeah. See, so it's all of it just wrapped up into one. And so, yeah, absolutely. Down 33-0 and coming back and winning against the Colts in overtime. Yeah, it's weird. It's bizarre. Why are they winning every single game like that? But the point is they are.
Yep.
And they're all fun games to watch, except for their losses. When they lose, they leave nothing on the table when they lose. So
well, and they don't at the end of the year, Pete. They don't ask how; they ask how many.
That's right.
Right?
That's exactly right. And it doesn't matter in college football. It matters how much you win by and how good you look in the games. NFL, it just matters that you win.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
All right.
Good
Jeff,
point.
you want to go second?
Well, yeah, we're gonna follow up a great regular season team with a great playoff team, and that would be my younger son Paul. His hockey team last year, they won district championship, second year in a row for him, winning a district championship in an overtime against the other Bemidji Pee Wee B2 team. So that was extremely exciting. And then we went on to regions up in Duluth, and they pulled out a championship there as well. So that was outstanding. Being that they were a B2 team, technically they weren't even supposed to go to a regional, but some guy put it all together. So they got to go play in that. So they didn't actually have a state tournament. So for 2 years in a row, Paul and his team finished the season with championships at the highest level they were allowed to reach. So that was a lot of fun. Great year for him. His team lost a total of 4 games all of last year. So that was a fun season the whole way around. So
and I don't know if you're going to bring it up, but there might be a few listeners that know that you are a certified announcer of hockey games now, and I'm not lying. You're really good at it.
Thank you, sir.
It's really something to listen to.
If anybody's interested, check me out on my hockey Twitter. It is at my Bemidji Hockey, and I've got highlights from the kids' games starting this year. I started cutting highlights of the kids' goals and some sweet saves that our goalies make. So you get a little taste of what's going on.
Like John Madden and Chris Berman all rolled into one with the nicknames and the great personality.
All our listeners will be checking you out now.
Yes, please do. We got quite a following on there. My wife and I do the games, and a lot of grandparents and a lot of parents of the kids that can't make it to the games are able to watch it live broadcasts, and can go back at any time and rewatch them. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to do, and the kids get a kick out of it. So.
All right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Brad, let's turn it over to you.
Okay. Whoa, excuse me. Well, I'll be talking about my kids too, but the first thing on my list here is being the music guy of this group. One of the things I wrote down was getting to go back to concerts this year, which had really been lacking. And I went to several concerts and with multiple different people, and each one was like kind of special. So both my kids went to First Avenue for the first time with me this year. My daughter and I saw Ash, who is a newer artist that we love in this family, and it was a fantastic show. And then my other child and I saw Biba Doobie.
Biba
Doobie. Who is also awesome and just a great on-stage performer, and we both loved that one as well. And then I got to see one of my all-time favorite bands, The Head and the Heart, who, Pete, we've talked about on this show before. You can go back and listen to a whole episode about them. And I saw them with my siblings who love them, and so that was a fun night out with my siblings. And I saw another band I loved, Blood Red Shoes, and Pete, you were there, along with several others. We all had a good time that night.
We certainly did.
So those are the ones that stand out as the most fun, and each one a little bit of a different situation, and great. And then also I just want to throw in, that my family, my kids, my wife, and I are all going to see Taylor Swift next year. And so I
Hello.
was able to acquire those tickets in 2022. And that was an exciting day too, even though it's not the concert yet. Just getting through and getting those tickets was a big deal. And we are all very excited for that one.
Oh, I
So-
bet.
Very nice.
That's my first one, concerts.
All right. Did you guys know that my family likes to travel?
I've heard.
A little bit.
A little bit. We took 2 road trips that I'm putting on. We do enjoy road trips. I just love, the drive. Actually, for a lot of these trips is the best part. I just enjoy hitting the open road and just going wherever we're going, and it's a lot of fun. We went on.
Boy, you really paint a picture.
Watch those freeways.
We went on a couple of road trips this year. We went to Galveston, Texas, I think that was over spring break, and that was a lot of fun. And then we went to, I think the even better trip was when we went out camping in Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. Just beautiful scenery.
The Grand Tetons.
Saw some really
You know what
great
that stands for,
wildlife.
right?
I do know what it stands for. Gifford knows what it stands for too, I bet.
Mhm.
Yeah. But we saw a lot of really great scenery. We saw some mooses. We saw
Stop it.
a whole bunch of a
They're
whole
just
bunch of like
moose.
elks, moose, meese, whatever.
Nope.
Did you see Glenn Campbell when you went to Galveston?
Did not see. I thought about that actually, but no, I did not. I think
I believe he's
now.
dead, right?
Yes.
Then it would have been really something.
It would have been. So yeah, that's my next item on the list. Road trips to Galveston and Yellowstone / Grand Tetons.
2 places I have not been. I would love to go to
You
Yellowstone.
should go.
Yellowstone
we will.
is phenomenal.
Yes.
We got to get to Yellowstone and Glacier and all that area eventually.
You should go to
we're
Yellowstone before
looking
it
to go to
explodes.
Glacier at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go to Yellowstone.
it's
What
a-
gift?
Before it
it's a-
explodes.
Oh,
little known fact, a lot of people don't know it's a super volcano, and if it erupts, then basically all of North America is gone. And
Yep.
probably the entire world, because it will create a plume of smoke.
plume.
So deadly, and that's good. We are going to do the greatest pop culture yearbook episode you have ever heard if that happens.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be around.
Well, there'll be time if it's smoke.
Okay.
We're going to do it quick.
make it
all
work.
right?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Gif.
Well, I got a couple trips as well. Maybe not those that far as Pete, but we've been going on a little trip down to Otter Tail Lake, which is only about 3 hours away, to see some friends. They got a lake cabin down there. A couple of couples that used to live here in Bemidji, and we get together with them. So Matt and Dina host us down there, and Andy and Lena also come by with their family, and it's just a really nice time out on the lake. Do a little boating, pull the kids around in the tube, and a couple drinks here and there, and it's just a very relaxing, fun time. And then another trip that we go on every year.
If I'm not mistaken, Dina is a very loyal listener of this show.
Yes, she is, and a massive New York Rangers fan.
Oh yes, that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another trip down to Wisconsin to see some fraternity brothers. My buddy Mike and his family have a lake cabin in Wisconsin. We head over there, and Gary and Meg come over and visit us as well. And this year, for the first time, we had my buddy Bozer and his wife came up as well. They live down in Tallahassee. Mike, who owns the house, lives in Georgia. So
Mike, I know Mike.
you know Mike, yes. Yep. And so yeah, it's just a really fun time. You go to Wisconsin, you're gonna have a few brewskis, so that's always fun. And nice little lake that's on a chain of about 3 lakes. And it's a good time. It's a wonderful time. I got to correct myself. Bozer lives in Gainesville, not in Tallahassee. But anyway, just a nice, relaxing, fun weekend with some friends I don't get to see all that often, and we cherish those moments in the summer. So that's second on my list.
Cherish.
Yes.
Well, since you're talking about traveling, I will throw in I've got a couple things to mention, but one highlight was a golf trip that I got to go on this year. So my brother and I, my friend Chris, and another guy that he knows took a trip to Nova Scotia, which is a beautiful little province in Canada.
That's a whole other country.
I've actually been, what?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother country.
Yeah. I've actually been there once before because my brother lived there for 2 years out of when he graduated from pharmacy school. Him and his wife moved there and worked at a university. But this time I got to go actually up. So that was in Halifax, the biggest city. But these golf courses are up on the Cape, which is like 2-3 hours up there, and it's got this beautiful drive around the Cape. And we played 4 courses. We played 2 of them twice. We played 6 rounds of golf in 3 days, and it was just fantastic. And so the main place we went is called Cabot, and it's the same people who made Abandoned Dunes, which is the biggest one in America, and they also made Sand Valley in Wisconsin, a place I've been to, which is just, these are like the coolest, most awesome resort golf courses there are.
And they let you in.
Yeah, and speaking of that, another highlight is right at the end of the year here. So we actually booked a trip to Abandoned Dunes this upcoming year, but we had to book it like last summer. You have to do it like year and a half ahead of time. And we're kind of finalizing the trip, and there's going to be 8 of us, 2 foursomes. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be like the trip of a lifetime, and I cannot wait for that either. So I got to take one amazing golf trip and plan another.
My invitation must have got lost in the mail on that.
I'm sure you would have said no. And I hope to do that every year and continue to add on to these cool trips. And I want to thank my wife, who is very supportive of me doing these trips, which are not cheap.
Right, I'm sure.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the worst part for me would be all the golf balls I'd have to buy if I was going on these trips with you, because I'd be losing quite a few.
The 2 that we played are right on the ocean, and one is called Cabot Cliffs, and it's literally, I mean, it looks a lot like Pebble Beach. It's on cliffs. These holes are like, my brother almost fell in the ocean. He almost died. He slipped where he shouldn't have slipped. So
he slipped where he shouldn't have slipped.
Yeah,
as opposed to where you're supposed to.
There's a sign there that said no slipping.
Yeah. Well, I guess the only place you're supposed to slip is maybe on a slip and slide. Would that be the one place?
True.
So anyway,
True. Yeah.
That would have been a whole different trip, but
no slipping.
It was just a fun memory and vision at the time. All right, back to you, Pete.
Okay, back to me. Well, it had been a few years, as you know, Brad and Gifford. I don't know if all our listeners know. In the past, I had run 2 marathons and multiple half marathons, but it had been a little while. So I wanted to get back into it, and so I was able to do that. And I spent a good chunk of the year training. And in September, I completed a half marathon, the Maple Grove Half Marathon, and one reason I was able to do that actually is that I love the new Nike training app for it. You know, you're always looking for what's the right training plan and everything. The Nike Run Club app.
Hey everybody, we have a sponsor now.
Free plug.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to call them. I'm going to get a check for like $10 million.
Perfect. As long as you distribute it.
That'd be great. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put it all back into the show.
Right.
But yeah, it does a really good job of coaching you through. It sets up the program. You enter in all your information, the date of the race, and then it gives you the entire program. And if you want to listen to it as a guided run where the coach will be talking to you the whole time, you can. You have your music playing, and then it'll volume down when the coach is talking. And so it says, you know, and it's different types of runs to keep it interesting. Where there's like interval runs, what they call fartlek runs, which is a type of run. It's sort of like it's a Swedish term.
It's a funny word.
Yes, it's a funny word, but it's the Swedish word for speed play. meaning that you're just doing different things and playing around with your speed and your pace. Yeah, so it was a great day. Was able to do it, and I'm going to be doing it again. What are you laughing at, Gifford?
Nothing. I'm just laughing to myself. It's okay.
I'm going to be doing it again this year. I haven't decided which half marathon I'm going to do.
Well, hey, Pete.
Yeah.
So Kim and Isaac and I are all running a Stillwater half marathon. I believe it's in May.
Oh.
So if you want to do another one, you should do that one with us. I was just going to tell you that I'm signed up for one too.
Well, I can try it. I was looking at later in the year because more time for training, but I just started back after the holidays. Treadmills. Well, yeah, but I took like 2 months off.
You've done it before. You know how to do it.
I know, but I did start. I've just started after the new year. I've started back on the treadmill now. So I don't know. Send me the deets, Brad, on the on that race that you're doing. I was thinking about doing the Gopher to Badger one that's in August, I think it is, which is also in Stillwater, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, that is my number 3.
Excellent. Right. Well, it sounds like I'm just following your lead on these, Pete, but this was my next one on my list.
You're doing a marathon too?
You ran a marathon, Gift?
No, but it's speaking of running. So my oldest son has been in cross country since he was in 6th grade. And this year, his final year, his senior year in high school, he was elected captain of, or one of the captains of the cross country team here in Bemidji. And
did he say, "I am the captain now"?
I don't believe so.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have been. So the in the section final this year to go to state, you had to finish top 2 as a team to make it to state. And he in cross country, the top 5 runners across the line for your team make up your team score. And he was Bemidji's 5th runner, and he was the final runner that pushed them over the line to make it to state. So that was quite an accomplishment for him. I was very proud of him that day. He ran faster, about 50 seconds faster on that course than he did the week before. So that was really cool, a lot of fun. We got to go to the state meet in St. Olaf, and just interesting to see that whole spectacle of that many runners, that many kids. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that was my number 3 for the year.
You should sign him up for the half marathon in Stillwater, and then we could turn that all into a weekend out together.
There you go. Which weekend is it?
I believe it's at the end of May. I was looking for the date quick, but I didn't find it.
I know the end of May. He is graduating from high school.
I will share with you offline.
All right, sounds good.
Well, what a way to celebrate.
Yeah, that was a good way to end his cross-country career. So.
All right, so you're talking about one of your kids, so I'll go on and follow your lead. I've got 2 different ways I can go here. I'll do this one. So this year, I just wrote down, I'm really proud of my kids. They're really growing up. So my son got his driver's license in January, and he has been driving and doing a great job. He had one little snafu, but overall, nothing else. And he's been working at the movie theater, and he loves to work. He's very committed. He loves to make extra money. He worked on Christmas Eve and Christmas night. He got time and a half and just love that. And he's really good about that. So I'm very proud of him. He's working, he's driving, and he's juggling everything awesome. And then my daughter she started high school this year, and she played. So first, I'm going to get to marching band. I talked about that last year. So she's in the marching band, which is, they both are, the most time-consuming thing ever. But she also played tennis. So during the fall, she was in the marching band, she's starting high school, and she was playing tennis. And she did a great job with that. She's getting better at tennis. She loves it. She's going to keep playing. And she's just such a responsible student. She does great in school. She's maybe a little bit too panicky sometimes about being perfect, but it shows in her grades and her results. So I'm just 2 kids that are just killing it, and I'm very proud of them. And so that's my 3rd one.
Awesome.
Wow, that was a good one.
Oh, okay.
So my next one was actually a very recent one. Since our last recording, I was able to, for my job, I was able to go to Brazil,
Yes.
which to be able to travel like that.
They
it's the
recruited you
furthest-
for their World Cup soccer team, right?
They did. That's exact, and they lost.
Right. Just recruiting Pete was so bad that Brazil lost.
Just him getting on the
Right.
plane to go to Brazil was bad enough.
That was actually a disappointment, because one of the things, I went down there for work in December, and one of the big things was, and there was time scheduled where we were supposed to have a party. They were going to have a watch party for Brazil in the semifinals of the World Cup. But the Friday before we left, they got upset by, I think it was Croatia, and so that whole thing was just didn't get to do that. That would have been quite an experience to watch the Brazil soccer team in the World Cup with Brazilians. And one of the a fun fact that I learned is that they actually declare it a national, or a half a day national holiday if Brazil is playing. And if they're playing in Brazil, it's declared a national holiday if the game is actually in Brazil.
Wow.
So I thought that was interesting, but it was just great. It was a very short trip, leaving on Sunday, coming back on Thursday night. To travel that far,
like
that's a really short.
For how
I was very tired, and it was a lot packed into that 4 days. But one of the best parts of it was at the end of the last day, when we were just kind of waiting around for our car to come and pick us up to go to the airport. Me and another guy were sitting in a room with one of the people I work with down in Brazil. He's a local in Brazil. And we just sat there for almost maybe an hour just talking about, he was just teaching us about the culture. And it was just great to experience the different the different culture that they have down there in Brazil and Latin America, and compare that to what we're used to. And it is very different. I will say, Brad, you'd hate it. There's they're all about closeness and hugging and everything like that.
Maybe if I grew up there, it'd be fun.
I'm sure you'd fit right in then. But
I like to hug.
It's like strangers, like coworkers that you've never met before.
No, probably not.
No.
So that was the thing, but you have to literally embrace it. You're there. You have to, they actually do view it. He said they do view it as insulting when you don't do that, and so you have to kind of go along with it. And it's actually, I found it fun. I don't know what it must have been like during COVID, because all that stuff would have been discouraged and everything. But it was just fun to be a part of and experience their culture. And we did go out and enjoyed a lot of really nice restaurants, and drinks and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good time. It's probably pretty likely that I'll go on more similar trips down to Brazil and maybe other places as well. So
cool.
Looking forward to it.
Good for you.
Thank you.
You did it.
All right. So
back in one piece.
My last two things happened in the last week of the year, and since Pete brought up work, I guess I'll just follow suit. So for the past 16 years here in Bemidji, I've owned my own flooring installation company, First City Flooring. And over the past few years, the rigors of the job have just kind of been a bit much. So the last week of 2022, I folded up shop, and I now have started a new job selling flooring instead of installing it. So I've got an office job, first time I've ever had a desk in my life. And so starting a new chapter in that regard as far as work goes. So I'm excited about what is going to come up in 2023. So,
and this was kept under wraps.
Yep.
We didn't even know about this.
We didn't even know.
We saw Gifford with his hair done and a nice shirt on tonight, and
Oh my God, who
Knew
died?
something was up.
Yeah, a little
I
different.
never would have predicted that was the reason.
Sure.
Must have been a funeral, is what I thought.
Well, I guess in a sense it was. Funeral
Looks
for
like he's
First
ready
City
for his
Floyd.
yearbook photo.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So yeah, that was my number 4 for the year.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I don't know which one to do next. Okay, I'll continue with my kids here. So, as I mentioned previously, both my kids are in the marching band. So, if you happen to listen to the show last year, I talked about my son and the Rosemount High School Marching Band, which is one of the biggest bands in the Midwest and the best band in Minnesota. And the commitment for these kids is just beyond what you would imagine. Way more than like most sports, because it goes on, the season is longer, it goes on before that all through the summer. And I was very proud of how he handled that and did such a great job. And he got to go to Hawaii through the band and had a really cool year. This year, he wasn't going to do it again, but he changed his mind. And my daughter, who is a freshman, joined too. And the reason why they both kind of decided to do it is because they found out at the end of the season last year that they were selected to be in the Rose Parade this year. So they took a trip to Indianapolis for this Nationals, and that was a fun trip. My wife and I got to drive down there and check that out and go to Lucas Oil Field. But then through all the season, everything was great, and they won all these different things. But then it ended, and we literally just got home last night from California. And I grew up my whole life watching the Rose Parade on New Year's Day morning and then the Rose Bowl. And it's been a dream of mine forever to see the Gophers play in the Rose Bowl. And I thought it was going to be this year, but it wasn't.
Silly boy.
But I still got to attend the parade and see my kids march in it and see the floats. And it was so cool. And it was a wonderful trip and such a great memory for them, and they deserved it. And I think they're both retiring officially from band right now.
Okay.
And they've had enough, but they got so much out of it, and we are so proud of them for what they did. And we got to do some fun stuff because of it too. So it was pretty great.
Awesome.
Nice. Well done. Well, I mean, I'm going to tie back into Gifford's because he's talking about his new job. Mine ties into the Brazil one that I just had. I was able to go to Brazil because of my new job. Both of you are pretty well aware that the first much of the year, I was just no longer happy in my old job anymore. So I was just searching and searching, just looking for an opportunity where I was just looking, and it's not even anything against the company or the people or anything. It just I'd been there 10 years. It just kind of ran its course, and so just time for a new opportunity. And I was able to. I'm not going to name the company. I try to avoid that, but I did start in October, and in fact, all of the 3 major jobs that I've had in my career, I started the first week of October in.
Really?
So it's a little fun fact. I don't know why that is, but it's just a coincidence the way it worked out that way. But it's been 1,000% the right decision, and it's right now. I've only been there for like 3 months, but you can definitely tell that for me, it's a much better fit, and the people are just awesome. In fact, I do want to throw a shout out. You mentioned a loyal follower. We have a new loyal follower. One of my coworkers, Kim. I want to give a shout out to Kim if she's listening, because
thanks, Kim.
She loves the show, and one of her first comments was that she can't tell which one of us tolerates each other the least or the most, or something like that. And my response,
more episodes already than my wife, Kim.
That's exactly right. And but I did tell her that Brad is definitely the least tolerant of the 3 of us. So
yes,
there's no doubt about that.
I'm not even sure what that means.
I don't.
That's why you're the least tolerant. Don't know what that means.
Somebody's got to be the leader.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep things in place.
And I will continue to be that leader that you guys need.
Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, just very happy. This job does provide a lot of more great opportunities. Like it's going to provide travel opportunities, which I've already discussed. Looking forward to that, and the job itself it's just more fun, and I'm more comfortable in it. So
Excellent.
there we go. That's what I got. Over to you,
I
Gifford.
was so happy when you got that new job.
Yes, I was
Yes,
too.
As I was too. Yes.
Yep. So to close out 2022, my last item on my list was the last day of 2022. So for my family, big family get-togethers are always a great time. And my brother's oldest, my only niece, Kira, she got married on New Year's Eve in Brookings, South Dakota. And it was just such a wonderful time. So she's the first of the new generation to get married. All my cousins and everything like that have gone through the ceremony, been up at the altar. So this was a lot of fun. A lot of family was there. I got to see them. And I just love getting together for these huge family events. I think she had over, how many did she have? 340 some people at this wedding. So it was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Sam was an usher. I was a host for the reception, and just a blowout, a great way to to end one year and kick off a new year. First time in a while I had a real solid something to do on New Year's Eve, I'll be honest with you. And rang in the new year with some friends and a whole lot of family. So that was a great time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that just kind of ties into mine a little bit too. Couple ways. So I just wrote down from my last one here. I just wrote down the holiday season with my wife. We just had a wonderful time.
Oh,
So it started on Thanksgiving. We hosted Thanksgiving, and you know how sometimes hosting can be very tense and there's a lot going on. It was like the best holiday we've had in I don't know how long, and we both felt it. And it was my family, but it was a long day, and she's not usually a fan of like long days like that. But they came
yeah.
over for dinner, and then most of them stayed all the way through the Vikings game that night. Speaking of fun games, Pete, it was just a great day. It was just awesome. And then in December, we had a Saturday where she didn't have to work. And there's 2 new breweries open in our town. And we went to one, then we went on a nice hike through the woods, and then we went to another one and just spent the whole day walking and drinking. And that was a great day.
Oh, walking sodies, those are the best.
And then I usually try to take off one of my precious personal days in December if it works. And then we like spend a day shopping for the kids and wrapping up things. And so we went to the Mall of America, went out to eat there at Crave, and it was just another wonderful day. And then Pete, you were attendant at, you came back from Brazil and made it to our Christmas party. And this Christmas party this year was just fantastic, with one minor hiccup where you kicked my ass in double dribble.
By like 40 points.
Oh my
man.
God! How
Well, I
did
quit.
I-
It was so bad.
Well, yeah, but I was ahead by about 40
I know.
points when you quit. And it was just getting worse and worse. It might have been 50.
I know.
you kept playing.
In my defense, I was extremely
Eh.
drunk. It's the most drunk I've been probably in I don't even know how long, but that was part of the fun. And it was we had a die. We didn't know.
It didn't seem like it was part of your fun that night.
We didn't know if it was going to really go off, but we decided to have a Die Hard theme to this party,
Oh, that
and
was
most
amazing.
people came dressed in some sort of character or something, and I had a trivia game. It was just so fun. It was a wonderful night. And so from Thanksgiving through Christmas, it was great. And then, as I mentioned, I was just in California for the last week, and so my kids were there, but my wife and I were on our own trip because the kids were busy the whole time with the band. And so we spent 2 days in Palm Springs, and I got to play golf, which was nice. And then we were in Pasadena for 3 nights, and unfortunately the weather was not very nice in Pasadena, but it was still a wonderful time, and it was a great trip. And then luckily we got home. There's a major snowstorm in Minnesota, and there was all kinds of complications getting people home. But we did get our flight home just in the nick of time, at least. So that was good. So it's just been a great month plus from Thanksgiving on. We've had a lot of alone time together, and it was really fun. Great way to end the year.
Nice.
Oh, and our New Year's Eve gift. Speaking of not having anything to do, so it gets dark at 5:00. We're in California. It's pouring rain the whole day on New Year's Eve. So we were at a hotel. We didn't feel like going back out to find food. So down in the little market in the hotel, I bought a frozen ravioli, and she bought a frozen personal pizza, and we heated them up in the microwave, and we ate those and bought a bottle of wine, and we watched the show The White Lotus, like for 4 hours,
That
just
sounds
in our room
romantic.
that night. And it was romantic. It was great.
That
But we had
sounds good. Yeah. That's
Nothing
nice.
to do, but it was still great. It kind of reminds me of those kind of days. Reminds me of we talked about I Love You Man last month,
Mhm.
and how Paul Rudd's best day was. I remember what they went out and did this one thing, and they came home and had a summer salad and watched Chocolat.
Yes.
It's like those kind of days where like there's just something fun to do, like the hiking day or the sitting in the hotel room watching a show. It was great.
Good.
Great end to the year.
Awesome. I like that.
And then kicked in the ass by 3 feet of snow in the last 2 days.
Yeah, that's no fun. Again, here in
No.
Bemidji, we've had nothing on this storm system, and I love that we haven't.
That is so crazy.
That's it. We'll be right up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you can get
If we-
through.
If I can get out of my driveway.
Hey, you
Mhm.
can't get anywhere. All right.
Oh well, it's fun. I like it because I work from home. That's when you
Beauty.
work from home, you don't have to deal with it. But of course, my wife and kids, they have places to be. So you worry about them. But for myself personally, I do love that I work from home because
Yeah.
of that reason. That's
Yeah.
one of the big reasons. So
Today,
I love
we
it.
didn't have school, but we had an e-learning day. So I was able to just kind of post assignments and check emails. But then I had plenty of time to go out and
Snow
And-
blow.
work on snow.
Yeah.
yep, that's what I did too. You work a little while. I got up early this morning. I went for a run on the treadmill. Then I blowed out snow. Then I worked. Over lunch, I blowed out snow again.
Load out
Worked
snow.
again.
I was going to say
blowed
the
out
English,
snow
the
again.
English teacher's having a problem with your grammar there.
Oh, that's all right. Who cares?
All right. So any
No,
other
nobody's listening anyway.
any other memories or bows you want to put on the year of 2022 here?
Well, we'll talk a little bit more next week too about 2022. So I'm sure we can.
Talk about the pop culture part of it.
Yes, we will. And of course, we'll talk about how that pop culture reflected on us. So there might be some more stories that just kind of pop up. But yeah, that's about all I got for the night.
All
Me
right.
too.
This was well done. Oh, hey, you know what? I almost forgot.
What's that?
Who's our band?
That'd be Preacher Row.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Preacher Row.
Oh my God. We got to stop
Thanks.
this.
I
Thanks.
might cut that out. I might
Happy
edit
New
that
Year.
out. I'm not gonna.
No,
Gotta leave
Happy New Year. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Standing on my own 2 feet. No one's here to comfort me. Sorry for what I have done. Sorry that your son is gone. 7 steps and it will be my last. Hands tied, tell me on my back. I turn and I look to you. I'm scared, but there's nothing I can do.